In this video, we'll look into pivot tables in Excel. The data we are going to use for that is this data. We got months Jan, Feb and March, countries USA, UK and Germany, and profits for those months for these three countries 10, 20 and 30, and profit, these are the sales and this is the profit 3, 4 and 5, and profit percentage 30, 40 and 50%. So this is the simple data we have, and as the new data keeps on getting added, that if that has to be reflected in pivot table, then we have to convert this into a tabular format. So first of all, before creating a pivot table, let us create this in a tabular format. So let me select this data and then insert table. Okay, so it's in this colored format. So if we don't want that, so click here, and here this is showing it as none, so you can select none. Now we got this data in a tabular format. Now let us create a pivot table for this table. So select this and then insert pivot table. You can choose the location either in new worksheet or existing worksheet. I'll choose the existing worksheet. The location, let me select here and click OK. So we got this pivot table, and these are all the fields in the pivot table, and here you can change the formats, like this is field selection and areas selection stacked, and it is this to select this, these are side by side. So let me go back to the stacked. Now in the rows column, we want to aggregate this data based on the country. So let us select the country in the rows column. So we got the country in the rows column, and in the values column we'll select this sales, sum of sales. So we got 60, 60, 60, 180, because you take any country, it is 10 plus 20, 30 plus 30 is 60. So for the three countries we got 60 plus 60, 60, and total is 180 is the total. Now if you want to aggregate data based on both on country and month, because this is a simple data, you don't get much difference here. This is country and month, both are there in the rows. So country is totally 60, and for the months Jan 10, Feb 20 and March 30. So that's how you can get it if you take multiple rows. So let me undo this, Control Z will undo this. So now we got back the original table. We can create a filter here. So if I just drag the month into the filters area, we got this month in the filters area. So here I can select, if I select Jan, so I get 10, 10, 10, 30. And if I select multiple items, Jan and Feb, I get 30, 30, 30, 90. So this way you can create these filters so that you can select the required data you need. Let me undo this too, so that we'll go back to our original table. Now if I drag this month into this rows area, we can see the subtotals here. Like for Germany it is 60, and 10, 20, 30, the subtotal is 60. This is the grand total, which is 180, but there are subtotals for each country. For Germany it is 60, UK 60 and USA 60. If you don't want to show these subtotals, then you can go to the design area here, and here there is a subtotals. You can say do not show subtotals. So you don't see the subtotals now. You see only the grand totals. And there are other things like grand totals on for rows and columns and off for rows and columns. You can see the grand total is gone. I select this on for rows and columns. Now you can see the grand total here. So that's how you can go to the design and then go to the subtotals or grand totals and display accordingly. Let me press Ctrl Z so that we'll go back to the original table. Now let us look into report layout. So let me drag this month into the rows and we'll go to the design. Here we have this report layout. Click on report layout and we can show this in tabular format. This one, if I click here, you can see this Germany, Jan, Feb, March getting in a tabular format, and Germany total is a subtotal. If I click report and outline form, you can see in this way. In compact form, this is how it shows in compact form. Thus, you can choose the report layout, whatever report layout you want to have. And here you can see these buttons here. So if I click here, it will get closed. If I expand it, it will expand. If you don't want that to be shown, then you can go to the pivot table, analyze, and there is a buttons here. So if you click this, so those buttons are gone. If you click this again, those are again showing up. And suppose this get closed by mistake, here you can click on the field list so that this pivot table fields will reappear again. I can change the name of this header. Instead of sum of sales, I can make it sales, but sales is already there here. So if I just change it to sales, I'll get an error. That's why I can change it to sales by country. If I change it to sales by country, then it's not there here, so it will take that name. Now if I want to find the average instead of sum of the sales, so I can click here, the values, sales by country, I can click here, and value field settings, I can change it to average, or I can change it to count, max, min. You can choose any of these. So let me select average. Okay, so this is giving us average of sales. Let me click on Ctrl Z so that we come back to the original table. You can as well select it from here. If you right click here, you can see this show values as and summarize values by. You can select average here. So either from here you can right click, or from here you can choose the value field settings. Both the ways you can change the whatever aggregation you want, whether it's sum, average, or min, max, whatever you can select by these two methods. You can change other options for the pivot table. So right click here, pivot table, and there is a pivot table options. Click on pivot table options. This is layout and format options. you got all these options for layout and totals and filters, show grand totals, show grand totals for columns, rows, display, printing, data. So there are different options, pivot table options, which you can choose according to the requirement. In this data, we can easily see that Germany has got 1/3 of the total sales, and UK has got 1/3, and US has got 1/3, because we have taken a very simple data for demo purposes so that it can be easily understood. So we have this percentages we can calculate manually. But if there is a lot of data, then if you want to see what percentage of the total sales Germany has got, or UK has got, or USA has got, then we can do one thing. We can just drag this sales into the values column again, and then we got this sum of sales column here. Here we change the name to sales by country, so it is showing as a different name. So here sum of sales. So here I can right click and I can say show value as percentage of grand total. So this is 1/3, that is 33.33%, 33.33%, 33.33. So if there is a lot of data, then you can clearly know which has got more percentage of sales and which country has got more percentage of sales, which country has got lesser percentage of sales. You can as well change the name of this header, as I shown you previously for this header. Previously we have seen that I have added a month in filter, and here we can choose whatever month we want. But instead of doing that, we come back here. Instead of doing that, I can just right click on the month and add as slicer. So I got the slicer here. So if I say only January sales, I'll get only January sales 10, which is 10, because if you see here, you can see for January everything is 10. If I say February sales is 20, if I say March sales, it is 30. Multi select both of them. So you can say February and March is 50. So Feb is 20 and March is 30. So 20 plus 30 is 50. So that is how you can add a slicer here, and you can select whatever months you want or whatever data you want based on this slicer. Now let me do Control Z so that we will go back to our original table. So this is our original table. Here I'm going to add April month for USA. I'm going to add 40. So let us refresh this now. Refresh this table. You can see USA, the total has increased to 100. From 60 it has increased to 100, because we have added one more row, April USA, and it is 40. Because initially we have made this table as a table, this data as a table, because if you remember in the beginning we have selected insert and we have selected this as a table. That's the reason why even if we are adding new data, that is getting reflected in the pivot table.